Hi everyone, welcome back to another home vlog here on my channel. Hope you're all having a lovely Sunday so far. I just thought I'd come on here because obviously I have been quiet, so I do apologise. Obviously being a new mum is hard work, as you can imagine. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on here and talk about, the layer story of how our little one came into the world. Obviously some people like this, some people don't, so it's probably not going to be to everyone's taste. So yes, if you are new, please hit that bell and subscribe if you are new. It's always lovely to have you here on my channel. So yes, grab a cup of tea, grab your snacks, and let's get into it. So first off, obviously I do want to say thank you all for your patience. Obviously I know I have been quiet these past few weeks. It has been very stressful. Obviously being a new mum and all that is hard, especially with being like, you don't get your housework done, you don't get yourself done. Yeah, it's just one of them things. But I'll quickly show you. He is fast asleep. Here he is. Just there. He's fast asleep. Bless him. And yes, my mum bought him that blanket, so thank you very much, Mum, if you are watching this. But yes, so it was all quite strange how it happened, really, to be honest with you. Because if you live in Derbyshire like myself, we went to the Derby Royal Hospital, which is where we had little Jonah, and they basically, because of how big he was weighing, which, to be quite honest with you, obviously scans aren't all that accurate. So when we had our scan, they always say that the pounds or the weight they go on isn't always that weight. It can be more, it can be less. So we went for our final scan on the Wednesday. I think it was the 24th. Yeah, because it was it wasn't, sorry to lie, 23rd of March, because we had him on the 25th. Wait, was it? Hang on, I'm losing my track of days. So it was the 22nd, is that right? 22nd, Thursday, Saturday? Yeah, 22nd of March this year. Sorry, tell a lie. It was the 22nd of March that we had our final scan on. It was a Wednesday morning, and they basically, it was for a growth scan, because we had a scan the week before that and he was measuring big, and they just wanted to rule it out just to see how big he was actually measuring at. And he came, they basically measured him and they said he was weighing at £9 too. And I thought, well, that's not accurate, because they always say never go off the scan weight, because they're obviously a few pounds out, or they're either measuring further ahead, or they're measuring, a lot less than that. So I thought, it's probably not going to come out weighing that. So I didn't believe it. And then we saw the consultant afterwards, which is what we do on every scan here. And they basically said, I was already booked in for being induced the following week on March 29th, which was my actual due date, but they said that they wanted to bring it forward. And I was going to ask the question anyway of saying, is there any way we can bring it forward, because I was worried that if he was measuring at £9 too, that he was going to put more weight on it. It'd be stressful for me, because I didn't want a C-section or, anything like that. I wanted to try and do it naturally if I could, as a vaginal birth. So I had a different consultant on this particular scan day, and she was lovely, and she basically asked if they could bring it forward. And she said to me in the room, my mother-in-law was with me at the time, that she says, can we do the Friday? And I just thought, that's 2 days away. I thought, I'm not even, and in my mind I was not prepared for that, which was quite scary to me, because I just thought, well, that's only 2 days away. And in my head I was like, oh my god, we're not prepared for anything. And then I was thinking, when I got home, I thought, yes we are. We've had these hospital bags back for weeks on end now, because obviously little man put me in hospital every couple of weeks with really bad Braxton Hicks contractions. In fact, I was in hospital end of Feb, so I was only in hospital 3 weeks before that scan date anyway. But yeah, so I wasn't mentally prepared for her to say that to me, to say, oh, we can get you induced in 2 days time. I thought, that's this week, I'm going to have a baby this week. And I think in my head I wasn't prepared to even be a parent. Like, it was one of them, I was like, no, I didn't believe this at all, And yeah, so me and my mother-in-law just sort of sat there and looked at each other, and I just lost it. I just broke down in tears. I thought, oh my god, I thought it's happening, it is real now. Because all that 9 months I just kept thinking, it's not real, and I was so excited to be pregnant, but I was so scared of what was to come, actually giving birth. Like, everyone kept saying, oh, it's the worst pain you'll ever feel in the world and this, that and the other. And honestly, in my own opinion, the pain was nothing. You know, I was worried out because me and my sister obviously don't do needles, we don't deal with blood well, but it was a completely different kind of pain. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I could handle it. Like, I was, like, the whole birth experience was incredible. I would do it in a heartbeat again. I really would. Like, it was incredible. But yeah, so it was scary. So they rang me that Friday morning, the hospital did, and they said, oh, there's a backlog at the minute. There was quite a bit of a delay. And I thought, oh God, and my stomach was in knots because I was waiting for that phone call anyway that morning. And she's like, you'll get a phone call that Friday to let you know what time we'll be bringing you in. And she rang me about, I think it was about 11:30 that morning. I was just coming out the shower. And I thought, oh my God, they're ringing me, oh God. And my stomach was in knots. I thought, oh God, is this it? And then she basically rang me to say there was a delay. I thought, yeah, thank God. So I could mentally, you know, get myself prepared, have something to eat quickly and then go. Anyway, got to, I think it was 4:30, 5 o'clock. No, what was it? No, it was about was it about 2:30? I think it was about 2:30, 2:45, they rang me and then said, can we get to the hospital for 6:30? Because that's when they wanted to induce us. And I thought, and I was on my own because Ben was at work this day. And I was petrified, I was scared. I just lost it. I cried again and I thought, oh my God, you know, what is going on? And yeah, so obviously his mum had the car seat because she wanted to keep the car seat to bring it to the hospital. And obviously we've had arguments and this, that and the other about it. So Ben went to go and fetch the car seat because we did need the car seat in the car because they do check at the hospital to make sure you've got it in your car ready. So we did all that. And some people say, oh, well, when you're being induced, you can't eat. And it all depends on what kind of induction you have. I mean, when we did get there eventually, we actually saw like a consultation doctor type thing on the maternity ward. And my heart was pounding because he kept mentioning, oh, because of how big Jonah was measuring at, we may have to go into emergency C-section. And I thought, this is the one fear I had. And seeing my mum go through what she went through with her 3 boys, it really scared me. And I didn't want to go down that route. And I was adamant I was not having a C-section. I know some people say, well, that's bad of you for doing that. But to me, it scares me. Like, being put under a knife, as they call it, it does frighten you a lot. And I didn't want that at all for my first baby's birth. So I wanted to go down that route of having a natural vaginal birth. You know, I wanted to experience that. So it happened anyway. So we went to McDonald's that Friday night about 5 o'clock and we were starving. I thought, I'm going to top myself up with much sugar, as much fatty food as I can, because they say to get your sugar levels up if you have a vaginal birth. So I ate as much as I could. And then, is he waking up? I am not. Yes, I'm okay. And so yeah, I had a big chicken nugget meal, I had a milkshake, and it was really nice. We got to the hospital, so I think it was about 5 minutes to spare. We got there at 6:25. We parked up and everything, and took all the bags in with us. And yeah, we went into the maternity ward. The doctor came and saw us and basically said to us the risks of having a natural birth and going down the route of a C-section. I thought, oh God, here we go. And he was just basically saying there's a risk to having, you know, because how big the baby was weighing, he could come out with fractured shoulders if I pushed him out naturally. So I did anyway. So my voice keeps going. And yeah, they wanted to start me off on a pessary tablet, which is basically where it induces you, it starts your contractions off slowly. And they basically said it takes 24 hours to work, or if that didn't work, then they put you on a drip, which is a hormone drip, which starts your contractions off as well. It's waking up. Yeah, it's waking up. I'll make this as quick as I can. Anyway, I'll just see if I can bring back to sleep. Shh, 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 shh. No, let me go and get him. I'll be 2 seconds. I will be straight back. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh dear. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, they put me on a pessary tablet, and it got to about, I want to say about midnight. In fact, no, it wasn't midnight. Sorry, it was about 12. And she said because it takes around 24 hours to kick in, just try and get some rest. So I said to Ben, go home, get some rest. I'll message you if anything happens. And Ben went home, got to about 12 at midnight, and I started getting really hot pain down my spine. And I pressed the emergency buzzer, and she came back. And I said to her, I'm getting really bad pain. You know, the midwife came back, her name was Kirsty, she's so nice, bless her. And I started getting pain. I told her, and she checked me, and she said, oh, it's just it kicking in, don't worry about it, try and get some rest. I was like, right, okay. And then it got to 12. I was getting pain straight down my spine. It was getting really painful now. And then there was 3 other girls in front of me, and they all went down. They had this tablet as well. I actually met one of them, and she was 4 centimetres dilated. So she went down, and then it was only me left from the maternity ward. That was it. It was so quiet. And I pressed the buzzer again. I couldn't breathe. It got to a point where I was literally in pain that much I started crying. And anyway, I pressed the emergency buzzer, and she came back, and she says, let me just check what's going on, just to make sure, you know, it is in right. Anyway, so it's 12, and she goes, you're 3 to 4 centimetres dilated, we need to get you down to that labour ward suite now. And I cried with happy tears. I was like, oh my god, I thought it's actually happening. I thought, this is the moment everyone talks about, you know, when you go into labour. So she says, where's your partner? And I said, I've just sent him home. And she says, call him back, you'll need him here now. So anyway, I got straight back onto the phone to Ben, and it literally got to like 12:30, and I rang him, and he answered. I said, and babe, I said, you need to come back now. I said, I'm 3 to 4 centimetres dilated. And the precise words he used was, oh shit, let me get in the car and come back. And I've never ever seen him get in the car, like heard him get in the car so fast. And he got to the hospital for about 1:45, because the hospital at that time, like literally it's dead, it's like a 15-minute drive. And he came back, and the midwife basically said, have you told them that you're going down to the labour ward? I was like, no. And I was like high as a cat by this point. And she says, what's your partner's name? I said, Ben. And she said, okay, let me call him, and I'll tell him to come straight to the labour ward, and I'll ask someone to meet him outside. So they did. And then he basically like held behind the whole time. And I was on gas, and I was on the, you know, exercise ball. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Shh, 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 shh. You playing bubbles, see? And yeah, and I was on gas in there, and I was on the exercise ball trying to bounce my way through it. And to be honest, it wasn't that bad. Like the gas in there, like, certainly helps. Like it really knocked me out. Like I was awake, but it made me feel high as a kite and really numb. So it was great because I didn't feel the contractions. But like I got to the labour ward and the contractions was every 10, like 2 to 10 seconds. And even the midwife said, gosh, they are coming quick and fast now. So she put me on this, she gave me a shot of pethidine, and it basically slows your contractions down. And she basically said, because I was literally out of breath at this point, I couldn't catch my breath or anything, I was exhausted. So she said to me, she's just try and relax, and I was adamant, I was not having any drips, no shots, nothing. And like I was adamant I was not having the epidural either, because I did not want that at all. I would have done anything not to have that. So luckily she said, oh, this pethidine literally lasts for like a second. Hey. Shh, 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 shh. And so she gave it me. It did slow the contractions right down, which was really good, really good. So I could catch my breath. I could try and get like a couple of minutes rest before the next one came. And to be honest, I didn't feel it. The gas and air massively helped. And yeah, so I was definitely in labour by this point. Anyway, it got to like, I think it was about 1:30, 2 o'clock time, if I remember right. And she checked me and she was like, you are 6 centimetres now. And I was like, oh God. I was like, okay. And I just remember laughing to Ben, like, I don't know what she said, but I was laughing at something. And I said to Ben, I said, I need to go for a wee. I really need to go for a wee. And you know, it's going to sound grim to most people on here. It's probably too TMI for some people, but basically the feeling that I had down there was like I needed to go for a poo. It felt like I needed to push a poo out. And I said to my wife, I need a poo. And I was shouting, I was like, I need to go for a poo. I need to go to the loo. And the midwife kept saying, you don't need to go for a poo. It's your body telling you need to push. I said, no, trust me. I said, I'm going to poo myself. I need to go for a poo. And she's like, you don't. You need to push. And she says, you can't push yet. You are only 6 centimetres. I was like, I need to push. I was like, I need a poo. It felt like I obviously was going to poo myself. Anyway, so I went to the bathroom. I did have a wee, which was fine. I got back on the gas and air, and she gave me another shot of pethidine. And by this point, the contractions were terrible. Like there was every 2 seconds. It was horrible, and it wasn't painful. Like the gas and air certainly helps, but it was the strangest feeling. Like, and I said to her, it literally got to the point where I was wanting to push, and she says, "Oh, let me check you down there, see what's going on." And it was about, I think it must have been about 5 o'clock in the morning by this point. I can't remember, it was either 5 or 6. And we'd been going at it hours and hours and hours. Oh, it was such a long day. And, you know, it just felt like hours was going by and nothing was happening. Like I wasn't dilated enough. And, you know, I mean, it took us hours to even get to 6 centimetres. And then she checked me again. I think I got to 7 by like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted. You know, I've been going at this 7 hours, and I was absolutely exhausted. But the gas and air certainly helped. It really did. And yeah, it was so strange because it felt like nothing was happening. I was just on gas and air, and I was drinking every single Lucozade Sport going. I think I bought 6, and I drank the lot. Even Ben had one at one point because he was exhausted. Obviously, he'd been awake from 5 o'clock Friday morning because he was at work, right through to 7 o'clock the next morning on the Saturday. It was crazy how it all happened. And anyway, the pain would start getting, you know, worse and worse. But it didn't get to the point where I couldn't handle it, because the pethidine and the gas and air certainly helps. And yeah, he's fast asleep again now. He just wants to hold him, bless him. Yeah, it's crazy because it got to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was just puffing gas and air constantly, and you know, she checked me again and she said, oh, I'm 8 centimetres now. She said, I can start pushing if I want to push. And at this point, I didn't feel the urge to push. Like the urge to push had completely settled down completely. And yeah, it was so crazy because it got to about, I think it was either 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon by this point. And I was shouting, I need a poo, I need to push, I need a poo. And she's like, you don't need a poo, you need to push. And she says, let me check. She says, yeah, you are fully dilated, so if you need to push, just push, do what your body tells you to do. Anyway, so she said, do you want me to drop the bed for you? And it was one of these beds where you sat up like this, like I'm on this chair, and it was like half a bed and half a chair. So she dropped the bottom half of the bed and it turned into like a chair. And there's like these silver brakes that you can put your feet on at the bottom of this chair thing that they bring up. And there was two metal handlebars at the side of this bed. And she said, grip hold of them, it will help you with the tension of the push if you need to push. So I put my feet down and my feet were like, as though you're driving a car, like your feet are on the clutch and that. My feet were on these silver brakes and my hands were on these handlebars. And I was gripping for dear life. I felt like I was going to break them off at one point because I was gripping, I was pulling on them that hard. And I said to her, I was like, I need to push. And it got to a point where like I felt pressure in my bum. And she's like, you need to push, you need to push. And I was just like, and I can't do it, I can't do it. I was like, I need to push, I need a poo, I need a poo. And I did, I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I kept sucking the gas in it as hard as I possibly could. He remembers that. I'm surprised there was anything left in it, in this kind of gas and air, like, so I was sucking on it that much. And she's like, oh, the head's here, I can feel it, the head's here. And I was like, oh my God, I said, I cannot believe I'm actually pushing the baby out, oh my God, oh my God. And I just couldn't believe I was actually doing it. Like, you know, everyone says, oh, it's the last, you know, it's the painful experience of giving birth. Like, to me, I couldn't, you know, barely feel any pain. I was that numb on gas and air, like it made my whole body feel shaky. Like I had to have Ben walk me to the bathroom halfway through, like, the labour, because I needed a wee that bad. And I couldn't see for the life of me. The whole room was just spinning. And it was just crazy. It really was. And like, he had to hold me on the toilet because I kept dropping. I was like going like this every couple of seconds because I just couldn't see, the room was just spinning. But yeah, it was just, and then I got back on the bed and I did need to push. It literally felt like I needed a poo. And she said, no, it's your body telling you need to push. If you feel like you need to push, then just listen to your body. And then she was like, the head's out, the head's out, the head's here, the head's here. And I just remember Ben going, like, quickly looking to see if his head was out. And then she says, I was like, I need a push, I need a push. And she says, listen to your body, count down with me, count down, and the body will be out. And I was like pushing away, I was like gripping on these handlebars as tight as I had, like fingernails in my hands. I was gripping it that tight. Anyway, so I was like, I need to push, I need to push. And then she says, count down with me, count down. I'll count from 10. And she's like, 10, 9. I was like, holding my breath as tight as possible, like proper, like holding my breath and pushing as hard as I could. And then she counted down to 10, like to 0. Nothing happened. And then she said, do it again, we'll count down again. And we must have done it a good 3 or 4 times. And I just remember this whole entire gush. And it was like a whole wave had just dropped out my stomach. And she just said, it's here, his body's out, well done. And it just literally felt like my whole body just like dropped. And yeah, that was it, he was here. But it did scare me once he was here because he came out and he didn't cry at first. And I was worried. And she got, you know, she cleaned him up and then put him on the weighing scales, and then luckily he did cry. And I was like, oh, thank God. And yeah, it was the scariest thing because obviously when he didn't cry, I thought, is that normal? But then they put him straight on me. And it was the strangest feeling. I thought, oh my God, I thought I have a child now, you know? It was just, sorry, I'm yawning. It was the strangest feeling. I thought, oh my God, I thought I'm actually a parent now. That's crazy. And then she put a hat on him, put him in a towel and gave him to Ben to hold. And it was the best thing, seeing Ben hold him, you know, be a dad. And now he's like fast asleep. Yeah. So 18 hours was how long I was in labour for with him. So when people say it's a long experience of the labour day, it really is. It really is. It was crazy. And you know what I just wanted after I gave birth? And this is going to sound really sad to some people, but during pregnancy you're not allowed energy drinks. And the one energy drink I did want was a Monster. I was craving a Monster can. So Ben went home and got some fresh clothes, and because we had to stay in an extra day because I had gestational diabetes, we had to stay in because he had to monitor me and monitor baby that day, just because you know how big he is in that, and they had to do his checks before he could be discharged anyway. So I said to him, I said, Lord, I said, it's been a long day, so go home, get some rest. I think I'm so tired now. But yeah, Ben went home. I think he had like a 4 days sleep, so you know he made up for it. But yeah, we stayed in that night. It was a sleepless night because little man wasn't latching or anything, so I struggled to breastfeed that day. I mean, he is actually breastfeeding now, which is really good, really good. Yeah, it's 4-ounce bottles every 2 to 3 hours, so it's not too bad at the minute. But yeah, so Ben went home, and then his mum and dad came back on the Sunday with his sister and his niece, and they came to see him. But yeah, he came out at £9 too, exactly what the scan said, which was crazy. I couldn't believe it. That was, you know, he was dead on that weight. To say it was only 2 days later as well, I thought he would have put more weight in them 2 days, but yeah, £9 too, dead on, which was crazy. He was born at 18:40 in the evening. But look at this, look how much hair he's got still. Look at that, crazy. So here's a sleep back. Oh, he's that fast asleep. So yeah, sometimes he just cries in his basket because he wants holding. So yeah, I might take him for a walk in a bit while it stops raining. So I'm getting mine and push down for a minute or two. But yeah, so if you have watched this far, thank you so much for the love and support you have given me over the last couple of weeks and days. It has meant so much. And Mum, if you are watching this, I just want to say thank you so much for your support through everything, through this whole process, and for the advice and everything. You know, it does mean a lot to me, so I love you so much. And yeah, so that's kind of it. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of chatty vlog. Obviously this is our labour story. This is, you know, what happened. Obviously if you have seen the video, if you haven't, please give it a like. It is one that means so much to me, because it shows you what happened in our labour. So yeah, and obviously how we progressed through the days. Yeah. I do hope you have a wonderful start to your week, and I'm sending you all my love and wishes for a happy, healthy next few months. And yeah, we shall see how this man progresses. But yeah, I will post another video for you very, very soon. But please give this video so much love. It means the world to me, as always. It's always nice to have you here with me and through all this new journey as a parent. For you parents out there that are watching, thank you so much for the love and support. I do feel it. Obviously I feel everyone's love and support through this channel. So yes, if you are new, please hit that bell and subscribe if you're not already. I would love to have you here. As always, as I say, my name's Ashleigh. I'm a UK vlogger, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, and I'll promise I'll try to do more videos as the weeks and days come on. But obviously you do have to bear with me now. I do have a new child in my life, so obviously my priority is him at the moment. So yes, please bear with me, and I will catch you all again in the next home vlog. So I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.